Hey Hero Factory and Bionicle fans alike, it's me, Lego Lee 329 again here, doing another Lego Hero Factory review today on the brand new Lego Hero Factory 2.0 Stormer 2.0. So let's take a look at his canister real quickly. Well, obviously it's the same as all of the other heroes that we've been seeing. You can see he's got his ages 6 through 16, set number 2063, 31 pieces. Tied with Evo for the most, Stormer 2.0, the code that goes online. In the back here, you can kind of see that he has a combination model he makes with Breeze 2.0 and the actual size of his hero core. So that's the canister. Now we're going to go on to the inside and see what you get for your money. So let's open up Stormer 2.0 and see what pieces you get for your money. So well, first off, the orange cap with the code. I don't know if we could read that because my camera doesn't focus, but let's see what pieces that you get for your money. And instruction booklet. Come on, buddy. There we go. So let's put the canister to the side here. And these are all the pieces that you get for your money. Well, first off, you get the instruction book. It's got, let's see, how many pages? 21 pages of building. That's more than the other ones, I think. You can see advertisements. No real advertisements for any other sets. That's interesting. It does show this code, how this code works. I haven't tried this out yet. But no advertisements for any sets. But here we got the display of pieces, the 31 pieces that come in this set. So let's take a look at some of the unique ones that you get with this. Well, first off, you got this torso. Now, this torso, it's just the same old torso, right? No, it's not. He and Evo 2.0, Next 2.0, have these different style of torso. They actually don't have ball joints right here, so the shoulders don't like stick out as much. So, that's pretty cool. I don't really know if it suits Stormer as much as it could suit Next or Breeze. I don't understand why Breeze doesn't have one. I'll get into that in her review. But it's still very cool. Torso piece, no ball joints here, so yeah. Then we got all of these basic, connector limbs and everything. All in black. We've seen these, but this one actually has a little bit different. Well, first off, here are the ones that are kind of like the upper ones that, provide the bending points. These ones are pretty cool. But then we have two of these smaller limbs. There's no ball joints. I don't understand why this guy, who happens to be the tallest out of all the heroes, has the shortest arms. So that's interesting, but these are cool pieces. But then on the bottom, he has these pieces. These are the bottom of his legs. Now, most of the heroes don't have this extra pin joint, so that makes him a little bit taller than all of them. So that's interesting, but those are pretty cool pieces. And then we got all of these white armor pieces. Well, first off, we have the white feet. Very cool. I like these feet. They're not as good as the other Hero Factory feet, but I still really like them. Then we got 4 of these white armor pieces, the pretty big white armor pieces. We've seen these in all the sets. So, very cool, you get that. Then you have the white chest armor, 1 white of the new hands, 1 of the white new shield pieces, and the white cap to the top of his head. And then for some silver pieces, we got the silver like under armor piece. We got his silver like headpiece and his silver weapon. Then his hero badge, which is silver. It says Stormer 2.0 and some really hard to read numbers. This is a little bit of an ice symbol going on there. Then for reused pieces, the only 2 is this. That little thing, we've seen tons of those. And this tube, but this tube is a new color. It's translucent with blue in the middle, which is really cool. I really like that. Then we have some blue, straight up blue pieces. The blue head, the blue core, and 2 blue bendy spears. So those are all the pieces, well, also the newer hand mold. But those are all the pieces that come with Stormer 2.0. So now let's go. Okay, so you open it up, seen all the pieces, used the instructions, and you built Stormer 2.0. So now here are my impressions after you build this figure. Now, one thing I will say is that I forgot to mention this little orange Baraki eye and when I went over the pieces, because I think it just rolled off the table and I unboxed it. But yeah, you do get this orange Baraki eye which clips into the side of Stormer's helmet visor thing. But here's Stormer 2.0, and it's a very striking figure from a distance. I mean, he looks very, very good. He's not the best. He's actually my third favorite, third or second. I can't really decide yet. But I do think he's a very good figure, and he grows on you over time. Well, first off, let's go over the legs. And the legs are definitely the weirdest part. I mean, they just look like regular Hero Factory 2.0 legs, right? Well, no, they're longer, which I mentioned in the piece part. They do just have one little notch longer, which kind of is a little weird, because, I mean, it makes him a little bit taller, but that's okay. But his arms are not longer, which kind of annoys me, because, you know, if the guy's taller, shouldn't his arms be longer? But whatever, I don't really care that much, and I don't really understand why they had to make the legs longer, but it was Lego's decision, not mine. His weapon is not the best, I will say. It is probably the second or third worst out of all these heroes. I mean, this tube adds some, and these blue spears add some too. But I mean, there's nothing really much besides this little saw blade piece, which we've already seen in a couple of these heroes. You get this piece in like 4 of the hero sets. So yeah, and also there's no armor covering up this arm here. I mean, it's not really that necessary because the weapon kind of shields that. That does kind of remind you of the old Preston Stormer figure, which we'll be doing a comparison of later. Hero badge looks good in the silver. The silver does work well with the white and the blue. I gotta say the blue is definitely probably my favorite color, besides purple maybe, for these hero badges and hero cores and everything. Then he's got his head, and the helmet visor thing looks great. It's probably the second favorite, right behind Surge's. I mean, it looks really good. I mean, I like that they included this. It's the only one that has 4 pieces, and you know, white and blue work well together with this added silver, and it looks very cool. It's the only one that doesn't like continue around, I'm pretty sure, all the way. I mean, it just kind of stops suddenly. That doesn't really matter. Just gonna clip it on. Now let's go over Stormer's posability and articulation. I mean, obviously, just like all of these new heroes, he's got tons. You know, he can pose his head, you know, it goes 360, it moves up and down. That might pop off, though, if you move it too violently like I do. And then the arm here, you know, it turns 360, it goes in and out. You can bend the elbow about 90, a little more than 90 degrees here. You can bend the wrist. Then over here, you know, you got the same elbow, same shoulder articulation. You can bend the elbow, like, you know, any way you want. And this moves a little bit, but the tube will hinder it a little. Then the legs, you know, you can move them forward, backwards. You can bend the knees. This one has a lot of knee movement just because of the way it's designed. There's not much armor, like right here, to hinder it. Then, you know, you can move the foot up and down, side to side, which is very important for standing these figures. And you know, they also can swivel. So, I mean, there's tons and tons of articulation on this figure, you know, just like all of the new Hero Factory figures. So now, let's go on to a quick size comparison with his older form and another one of the Hero Factory 2.0 figures. Okay guys, so you can probably see the size difference between all of these characters. I mean, first off, Stormer is taller than our friend Evo, or Nex, I always get them mixed up. But he's taller than our friend Nex here by half an inch maybe, and he's a lot taller, again, like maybe an inch taller than the original Stormer. Let's move Nex out of the way here. Just look at these two Stormers. I mean, which one's a better figure? Obviously this one. Which one looks cooler? You know, I mean, this one looks great for what it was. But, you know, now looking back, these guys look really stumpy and strange now that we have these figures. I mean, they weren't that bad when we just had them, but now that we have these guys, they're not even that good. So now let's go on to my final rating. So my final rating for Stormer 2.0 is a 8 out of 10. I gotta say, I mean, there's a couple problems that really might bother you, might not, but they do bother me. Like, you know, he's a little bit taller, and he doesn't have any armor there. And, yeah, and his arms aren't long enough, but, besides that, he's a very, very good figure, and even though I gave the original Stormer a 9 out of 10, Back then I was more generous, and these are all that we had. I had no earthly idea we'd be getting awesomeness like this. So now my rating for this figure would probably be around, heck, I don't know, a 7 out of 10, because these figures, they were good back then, but now that we have these awesome new figures, they're not nearly as cool. But this Stormer 2.0 figure is really good, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but this review was requested by Grand Thief 2, so please go check him out. This is LEGO Elite 39, signing off.